Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, the Las Vegas Strip studio, it's Bettor Center Live. I'm your host, Brad Stein. We do this 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the weekends, hosted by Loule Diamond. You can watch and listen to this show on LouisDiamond.com, YouTube at Loule Diamond, and Facebook. We have three professional sports handicappers here to give us a little information, to have some fun, and of course, make some money. Are you ready for this? What a great show we have today. Major League Baseball playoffs, some college football, some NFL, and of course, the man on the street and the most interesting play of the day. And I don't know where to start. Do we go positive or do we go negative? Do we talk about Carlos Correa's walk-off home run? The second time he's done this in postseason, one of the only players to ever do this. I think the third guy to ever do this. Or do we talk about those Dodgers that are down 3-1? Oh, my Clayton Kershaw's back. All he had to do was get the big W. And once again, my Clayton Kershaw fell to a rookie, Bryce Wilson. The guy had like 7 starts in his whole career, and he lost. Oh, this is terrible. All right, let's welcome those three guys in. Maybe they can help fill us in on those details. Loule Diamond, Chirimbes, and Ross Benjamin. Guys, welcome to Bettor Center Live. Thank you very much for joining and being here.
Good morning, Bradford.
Yeah, I know. I came out strong, but now we're going to bring it to you. Let's start with this guy. His name is Chirimbes. I heard they call you Mr. Saturday because you're like 20-5 and you're hot as hell on Saturdays. What is this? Is this your new nickname? Are you not Al Michaels anymore?
I'll take anything. Right now, we're red hot on Saturday, 6-1 last Saturday. We were undefeated the week before that, 20-5 in 5 weeks. I get 5 games out every Saturday. And I've got, coming off my game of the month in the SEC, we had an outright winner with Texas A&M over Florida. And I have another big winner in the SEC this week. So make sure you log on, follow the buy links either at Chip Wins or wherever you can get my games. But, there's one thing that happened yesterday we have to realize about this baseball playoffs, Brad. The way to beat the Astros. The way to beat the Astros is to avoid throwing the first pitch of the game and avoid throwing the last pitch of the game. And then you're a winner. They just seem to hit balls out of the park on the first pitch. It's their timing on that is incredible. Now, Altuve has a few first-inning homers as well in the postseason. So that's a tough one. But the Astros today, what are you going to do with them? Down 3-2. Who's it? Famber is the pitcher for them? And who's throwing for Blake? What's his name? Blake Snell's pitching for Tampa Bay.
Snell for Tampa Bay, yes.
Yes, Snell's pitching, correct.
Famber Valdez.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Houston has the mojo here, though. I'm wondering if Houston has all the mojo, and Dr. Evil's gone from one side to the other. So the cheating Lion guys are going to get my action today. I'm looking for Houston to tie the series up at 3-3.
Ross Benjamin. Could the Houston Astros be the 2004 Boston Red Sox? I'm sorry I had to go there. I know you have been – I had to do it.
Stabbed me right in the heart. Right in the heart you hit me, Brad. Hey, Brad.
Hit me a little lower.
Brad, Clayton
I'm sorry, Ross. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
You started talking about lower things. Ross got distracted.
Yeah, you know me well, Louie. Anyway, hey, look at Clayton Kershaw. You talked about his back, right, Brad? You know how long he's had a week? Do you really know how long he's had a week back for?
A long time.
About a week back.
Yeah.
Oh, about a week back. Right. That's correct. Anyway, I figured I'd say that. Anyway, thanks, Skipper, for stealing my thunder once again. But, I did mention before the game, you looked at that total yesterday, and it was 9.5, depending on where you looked. And I questioned how healthy Clayton Kershaw really was. And the books, to me, told you right out with that total that they didn't think he was 100%. As far as the Houston Astros go, Brad, back to your question, I think the pressure is all on Tampa Bay right now. I mean, I go back to when the Yankees blew that series in 2004. Once it started to snowball, it was hard to stop the momentum of the team coming back from that 3-0 deficit. But let's keep things in perspective. That's the only time it's ever happened in Major League Baseball history. Yeah, tough call for me tonight. I do like Flamber Valdez. I think he's a very underrated pitcher. And Blake Snell, if he could return to form one time tonight that he had in 2018 when he won the Cy Young Award, it would be great for Tampa Bay. I don't have an opinion right now, one way or the other on this game. Very intriguing right now that it's closed at 3-2. And I do agree with Chipper. The mojo is with Houston right now, obviously.
Loule Diamond. There are two other players beside Carlos Correa to have 2 walk-off home runs in the postseason. Do you know who those 2 players are? Or at least one of them?
In the postseason, wasn't Altuve one of them?
Yep. I don't believe so.
Against the Yankees, didn't he hit the game-winning home run against
He's talking about 2.
Two. And
otherwise,
2.
2.
Otherwise, Bill Mazeroski comes to mind.
You would think a guy that stuck Tommy Lasorda on baseball trivia would have this answer, but I don't have it for you. Right. You're going to have to – you got me, Brad. What is it? Give me the answer.
All right. One of them is Big Poppy.
The other guy want to answer.
Big Poppy's one of them. The other one, they made a famous movie about him. Weekend at
Bernie's.
Bernie Williams.
Bernie. Oh, Bernie. Wow, that's from the Yankees. Damn it.
Yes.
Bernie Williams.
Yeah. Bernie Williams.
Yeah. Bernie Williams. Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie Williams. There you go.
Yeah.
What else did you learn, Louie?
I learned that I'm gonna root for these guys getting Houston to win just today, so I can keep playing it under, guys. Come on, it's pretty obvious the under is the play. If this one misses, you're still well ahead of the game. But this has been a dead under series, so not one game has gone over. 21 out of the 27. Numbers I gave you in Tampa Bay don't count, but let's just say the last 26 meetings, 18-6-2 to the under. And I'm just going to keep riding that damn under train here. Now you finally got Snell, who's actually pitching to the under pace for the first time this season, where he's been in an under roll. And now he's going up against a pitcher that's got 5 straight unders. So how do you not just keep rolling this under and hope Houston gets a win so you can bet another under? That's my thought today.
All right, that was game number 1, and we're going to get in there right now. Houston and Tampa Bay, Valdez and Snell. This game opened up -135 Tampa, currently -133 with an 8 over under. Chip, do you have anything to add to this game? Game number 1 there, game number 6, 3-2.
Well, other than the fact that I stole a page from Louie's book yesterday and I posted my first total in the Major League Baseball playoffs. And Louie, I backdoored it because I thought the Dodgers were going to be the high-scoring team. And this is why Ross and I had said you don't lay 2-1, 240. And I decided to play the over in the Atlanta game, and I thought the Dodgers would be leading the way, and it was the Braves that ended up making that game go over the total. So very happy about that. Under may be the play here, but I'm going to come with Houston, see if they can prolong the series.
I like Chip going to the totals. I like that.
How about that?
Yes.
How about that? The totals. Ross Benjamin, agree, disagree? Anything to add?
We're talking about the Dodger game here, correct?
No, we're talking about Houston, Tampa Bay. Houston, Tampa Bay.
Still on the Houston, Tampa Bay.
I just got done talking about that. Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, I know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, no, nothing to add other than the fact that I like Framber Valdez, and I'm going to have a lean toward Houston. I haven't made my mind up yet. And back to you, Brad.
All right, now we go to game number 2. Dodgers, Braves, 3-1 lead for the Atlanta Braves. Dodgers -200, Braves, this is over under 9. We'll start with you, Ross, because I know you're so hot to get onto the Dodgers and Braves. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, I got a little confused there for a second. It doesn't take much, Brad, for me to get confused. Anyway.
Friday doesn't offer much.
Yeah, exactly. It's, the Dodgers game tonight, undecided on Atlanta. So, again, I think we're going to be looking at a team that's going to try to piece it together with their bullpen. I like Dustin May. I call him the wiffle ball pitcher of Major League Baseball, the way he throws. And I think the Dodgers are going to come up big tonight. I'm not going to lay that big price, but I will take a real good look at the run line. I'm not saying I'm going to use it yet, but that would be the direction I'd be looking to go at this particular moment in time. Back to you, Brett.
All right, Mr. Saturday, do you have anything to add to the Dodger game?
I think Ross is right on with this. You're not going. We just discussed we're not going to lay over 2-1. Possibly use the run line here, but why don't I just come back with the total again and come back with the over? You guys gave me enough time to make a decision yesterday, and maybe that's the way to go here because I will not lay this price. But at a pick 'em virtually, I can play the game over no matter who's pitching for the Dodgers.
And Loule Diamond the first.
I would have to.
Thank God, the first.
The first. Yeah, the first.
And
The
only.
Yeah, right.
That mold
It
was
ain't even
broken.
real. It's not even real. What else can I tell you? I didn't make the nickname. Funny story. I'll give you this one just to distract, to get off the subject. How Diamond came about is my company was called Diamond Sports. La Bamba was the #1 movie in the summer of '87, the year I opened up my company. And the guy that I worked with, my good friend, actually would not let it go because I'd answer the phone, Diamonds, this is Lou. And La Bamba was #1. He wouldn't let it go. I became Loule Diamond from that point on. And oddly enough, that gentleman was a gentleman that walked out of the Stardust Hotel with $500,000 one day.
Woo!
Haven't heard from him since. That is a true story.
And
So
I don't blame him.
where the hell was I? So anyways,
Legally?
on to the game, the Dodger game. I could only see the over being the only thing that you can invest in right now. Max Fried gets on the mound for Atlanta. I could see a nice little dog in Atlanta going to the World Series. They got the gorilla cornered, and they could very easily take advantage of that. But they may save Fried, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I would say either way, you're probably in an over event. Dustin May is not an over pitcher, but these guys have been scoring runs. So I think that will still continue here today.
Thank you, Lou. We're going to go to the man on the street. His name is
Brett,
someone.
1 second.
Yes.
Louis, do you have information on Fried being the starter? Because I'm still seeing
He's going to
undecided.
pitch Saturday.
No.
Yeah.
I don't, but I have his numbers
He's
in the
pitching Saturday.
stat box.
Okay.
So
I just
I
wanna
don't
clear-
have any confirmation, but I am just going on a presumption. That's all.
Okay. Sorry, Brett.
They announced he will
No.
pitch Saturday.
They did announce that, see?
If
And you
necessary.
can presume I was wrong.
If necessary.
So,
All right, guys, we ready to go to the man on the street, Tony Cusimano, talking some football. He's right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, I believe. Well, let's find out, because what do I know? That's coming up right now.
Thank you, Bettor Center. Tony C. here, your man on the street, and I'm in the city that never sleeps, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the home of the Las Vegas Raiders Allegiant Stadium. Now, everyone knows that the 3-2 Las Vegas Raiders went into Kansas City, Missouri in Week 5 and beat the defending Super Bowl champions on their turf, and they were 11.5-point underdogs. That's right. Raiders beat the Chiefs on the road, division rival, 11.5-point underdogs. What a victory that was for the Raiders. So how do you get rewarded for something like that? How do the Raiders get rewarded? Well, I'm going to tell you how they get rewarded. They get rewarded with a bye week. They're off this week. They have no game. They're not on the docket, but don't worry, Bettor Center. Who comes to town in Week 7? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady and company right here at Allegiant Stadium in Week 7. But how do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get from there to here? Well, there is back in Tampa Bay. They face in Week 6 a very tough 4-0 Green Bay Packer team. So Aaron Rodgers and company, 4-0, come to the 3-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the current line stands as this. Plus 1.5 for 2. Tampa Bay at home, they're getting 2, and 54 to the over and under. And I'm going to tell you what, everyone at Bettor Center, that was a tough luck loss. That was just a tough loss. They took one on the chin at Chicago, a 20-19 Thursday night loss. Tampa Bay has also an extended period of time to help heal the aches, pains, bumps, and bruises. They got a few extra days to do it. They're going to be hungry coming in for a win. They're 3-2. They've got to keep up with the Joneses, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They cannot go to 3-3. They've got to win this game against the Green Bay Packers to keep up with the New Orleans Saints. As far as Green Bay goes coming into this, hey, Green Bay, I give them all the respect and all the credit in the world. They're 4-0, but they're also 4-0 against the spread. And everyone at Bettor Centers know you can't go 16-0 against the spread. And they're coming off a bye week. I feel they're going to come out a little soft. And maybe they might underestimate their 3-2 opponent because they're 4-0. And they haven't played that tough of a schedule, in my opinion. I mean, they beat Minnesota. They beat Detroit. And they beat a not-so-tough, at that time, New Orleans team because, remember, coming into 2020, nobody had preseason, and the Saints at that time didn't have the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So they did go in and beat the Saints on the road, but I don't see the Green Bay Packers going into Tampa Bay and beating Tampa Bay on the road. So with that, Bettor Center, I throw it back to you guys. Green Bay, -2, laying the chalk on the road at Tampa Bay. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. What do you guys think in Week 6 NFL? Take it away, Bettor Center.
Tony Cusimano, the man on the street. We're going to talk about that right now. That's our game number 7. The Packers-Buccaneers opened up. Packers +2.5. It is now -1. Over-under opened up at 51.5. Currently at 55.5. We'll start with Louis Bag of Diamonds. What do you have for the Packers and Bucs?
Well, I got to be a little concerned with the Bucs defense being able to contain Green Bay right now. Devontae Adams expected to play here on Saturday. I think Rodgers is going to get some offensive help here. I got to like the over in the matchup. My first gut would be these two quarterbacks are going to put the points on the board in a high-scoring NFL season as it is anyways. And with the average points being at 50 points a game, I don't see how you don't take these two quarterbacks in and over here. That's my thought.
Chip.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
over.
What he's well, with these two quarterbacks, I can understand that. And yeah, what he said, Brady and Rodgers, 2 Hall of Famers going head to head. The only problem here is the aging of Brady. And we're not so much worried about his arm strength. We're worrying about his mental capacity. We might as well have Joe Biden quarterbacking if you can't count the number of downs.
Whoa!
So I happen to like Tampa Bay here. I think they're at home. They're in a good position. But this Rodgers always seems to get me, as does Russell Wilson. But I have a lean right now. I would take Tampa.
That was an interesting little nugget that Cusimano threw out there about the Packers undefeated against the spread. Ross Benjamin, what are your thoughts?
I think the Green Bay's been a beneficiary of a pretty soft schedule. I'm not trying to make light of their 4-0 start, but if you look at who they faced so far, Tony made a good point. Yeah, they haven't played. I don't think they played a winning team right now. Currently, a team that has a winning record. Anyway, the key to this game, everybody thinks about Aaron Rodgers and the passing attack of Green Bay and Devontae Adams coming back. But, Aaron Jones has been a key component for the Green Bay Packers and their ability to keep defenses off balance. Not only can Rodgers hurt you with his arm, but Aaron Jones has been probably the most underrated running back in football since the middle of last season. Having said that, one thing that Tampa Bay has done extremely well, even going back to last year, defensively, they stopped the run. They were number 1 against the run last year. They're number 1 against the run this year, allowing somewhere around 56 yards per game. If they could stop the run in this game and make Green Bay one-dimensional and double-team Devontae Adams, I think they'll have a good opportunity. If they're not able to stop the run, then it could be a long day for the Tampa Bay defense. And one thing that concerns me, they lost defensive tackle Vita Vea last week, Tampa Bay, who's an excellent run stopper. But if I had to make a decision right now, I'm going to agree with Chipper. I'm going to have a lean here toward Tampa Bay. I just think Green Bay, 4-0 straight up in ATS, would probably be a public side. And I also think that the law averages will catch up with him here. I think Tampa Bay's the play in this game.
Very good.
New Orleans,
gentlemen, we're going to move to college football. Our game number 3, SMU -6.5 at Tulane. This game, the over-under was 64.5. Let's just stay with you, Ross. Do you have any thoughts on SMU and Tulane?
Yeah, I talked about this yesterday, but again, I think that the key to this game will be Tulane being able to run the ball on a very suspect SMU defense. SMU also, keep in mind, their last time out, I should say, they played Memphis, a big AAC rivalry game. 2 teams have been at the top of the standings in the AAC over the last few seasons. And SMU jumped out to a 24-0 lead in that game. And then Memphis stormed back, tied the game, and then SMU had to kick a field goal with no time left on the clock to win the game. I think that they're going to be susceptible here. Tulane's coming off that loss at Houston last week where they fell apart in the second half. I think that's a better than advertised Houston team. I think Tulane at home will be able to run the ball, control the clock, keep that explosive offensive juggernaut of SMU on the sidelines. I'm going to have a lean here toward Tulane plus the points, Brad.
Mr. Chip Chirimbes.
Yes, this SMU, this Mustang team has got a great offense, and we expect them to put plenty of points on the board for sure. This Tulane team has had a problem. They jumped out to a 24-0 lead against Navy and lost the game. They jumped out to a 24-7 lead over Houston and lost the game. Can they play 4 full quarters? We'll find out. There's going to be pressure on them. They are getting points at home from this Mustang squad. But I think that Tulane is in a spot here where they've had 2 weeks to lick their wounds. And, SMU as well has had some rest. But I think Tulane's in a good spot here to come up big.
Louis Bag of Diamonds. What's your take?
Well, I was thinking that the over might be a nice little play here, but SMU does have some offensive injuries here right now. A couple receivers will not be playing. Wide receiver Reggie Robinson, who
It's a big loss.
That's a big loss. I mean, Sonny Dykes is hyping that his 2 receivers are ready to take the workload, and showing that he believes in his receivers. I just got to be a little bit worried about that being true. But if they are, I think the over is certainly the play. But I got to get a little worried here. I don't have a good vibe. Let's put it that way. I'll leave it at that.
Not a good vibe. That's okay. We'll move to game number 4. Maybe you have a good vibe on BYU at Houston. BYU -5, over under 63. Stay with you, Diamonds. What about this game? Good vibe?
Well, yeah, I got a decent vibe on the over here. I think this one should be an over call. Ross has said a few times, BYU, again, a weaker schedule, maybe inflated with all these points that they're scoring, and now they're facing a much better defense than they're used to right now. But at the same time, Houston gets involved in over scenarios. BYU, not so much. If the game is kind of dictated Houston's way, I see it going to be a high-scoring game. So I'm definitely going to give a nice lean on the over in this one tonight.
Okay, let's shift to rbwins.com.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lean toward the home underdog here. I like both home underdogs tonight. I haven't made a definitive play yet, but that's the direction I'm leaning toward. I mean, this is an experienced Houston team, as I said on yesterday's show, 19 returning starters. I also like to take teams as an underdog that have momentum. And not only did they win last week, Chipper, but they overcame that big deficit, 24-7 against Tulane, as Chip brought up, and they blew them out in the second half. And I just think they're going to be a heck of a lot better in game 2. Remember, this is only game 2 of the season for Houston. And last week, they got their feet wet a little bit. It took them time to get going. Once they did, you saw how they can perform. And again, Louis brought it up. I've said on several occasions, BYU right now, have they beat anybody? That doesn't mean I don't think they're a good team. But then I even go back to their last outing against Texas San Antonio. They were a 33-point favorite in that game, Chip, and they barely got by a touchdown. So I'd be interested to hear Chipper's thoughts. Back to you, Brett.
Yeah, Chip, let's hear your thoughts. BYU -5.
My first thoughts are Houston comes out and beats Tulane 42-7 in the second half. In the first half, they had 4 turnovers and 5 for the total game, and they still end up crushing this team. So there's a lot of talent on that Cougar sideline for sure. Both Cougar sidelines. BYU, where is Cusimano anyway? BYU undefeated. They're really tough. I guess everyone doesn't know that where he was. But he's in Vegas now. It's a great matchup, a great game. I like the dog.
I
here.
got it.
do.
I
like
have his
Houston
exact
Kansas.
location if you need it.
Well, I'll get my AK and then we'll work on it. But right now, I'm going to take the dog in this game. As Ross, I like both dogs tonight, and I was trying to make a decision which one I would rate higher. I decided to put them both at the same rating. I think this Houston team at home, they're going to be ready. They're a big time club. What bothers me is BYU being the favorite at Houston, and I'm a little concerned about that. And the other thing that I think I like is the fact that this should go over the total with 63 as a number here. We know Houston's wide open, and BYU Wilson does nothing but throw the ball. I see this game going over the total. Brad, what do you think?
I think we're going to move to game number 5, and it's another college football game. That's Duke at NC State. NC State minus 4.5, over under 60. Ross Benjamin, how about this big game here?
Yeah, I don't have much of an opinion on this game, other than the fact that Duke, they're confusing. I can't put a finger on what they're good at, what they do bad. Every time I think I got them figured out, they do the opposite the following week. So when I have a team like that, that's hard for me to gauge. I pass on them. This is not a game I'm going to use this week, and I'm not even going to give you an opinion. I would defer to the other guys. But I do think, I'm sure of one thing. The Louie, you or Chip should invite Tony over to dinner this weekend, being he's in Las Vegas. Back to you, Brad.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I agree, Chip.
No problem if he likes hot dogs.
I totally get that whole Duke thing, but I'll tell you what, Ross, they're good at doing. Producing average quarterbacks for the New York Football Giants. Dave Brown in the 90s, and now Danny Jones.
Good point. Very good point, Brad.
Yes, very good point. Let's move to Loule Diamond on this game.
Well, first, Ross, I'm sorry I threw this big barn burner here at us today, but I feel there's value in this game, so I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. I think that now's the time before tomorrow because I think the total's going to go up. I'm on the over here today or tomorrow. I think it's a nice, solid play for you. As I tell you every week, I look for a reason to play Duke over. I don't have to give you all of their over numbers and all their trends because I've been doing it every week. So, but when they match up against a team that gives me some over numbers, I like to roll with it. And what has NC State done this year? 4 straight overs. So they're playing over. So it's really not a real deep thought of who, what, where, when, how, except for these teams are in a history of playing over. I expect that environment to be the same come tomorrow. So I like the over here with NC State and Duke.
Chippers, your turn.
I'm very glad about that because I've had my way with Duke. You know, we discussed how we have certain teams we just can't get past. Well, it's been just the opposite me with the Blue Devils. I've been right with them all season long. They were 0-4. They ended up with a big win. Last week, we had them over Syracuse. Now, the thing about Duke to be concerned with is their turnovers. They've committed 16 turnovers. They just give the ball away almost every time they have it, and it's difficult to chart them. The other thing I could say about that is they are 1-4, and they have outgained their opponents in 4 of their 5 games overall. The line on this is 4.5. I'm going to take Duke here. I think NC State has had a little, we'll say, a shining little glimmer on them, and it's going to be tarnished, I think, on Saturday. I'm going to take the Blue Devils, Duke.
Woo, the Blue Devils for Chip Chirimbes. We're going to do the most interesting play of the day, and we're going to start right with you, Chip, because you're so hot going on those Duke Blue Devils. Please continue.
Well, thank you, sir. And one of the teams that Duke has played and ended up getting the money against was Boston College, and they are going to Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech's just coming off a pounding by North Carolina. Everyone was on Virginia Tech last week, and now they hate the Hokies. I think that Virginia Tech's side, this number is way out of whack with Boston College having a fine season so far. They've been very competitive, and now you're giving them virtually double digits. I think Virginia Tech at home is going to annihilate this team. I think they're going to make up for some of the beatings and bad times they've already had this season.
ChipWins.com. All right, RBWins.com. Mr. Ross Benjamin, your most interesting play of the day is who?
Well, you know, I'm going to look at the Baltimore and Philadelphia game, Brad. I mean, you're looking at a total of 47.5 in this game. You know, I've been professing right along. And I predicted a couple weeks ago, starting in week 6, I think you're going to see the defenses start to catch up to the offenses for the simple reason that there was no live tackling, no NFL preseason games, and very little live tackling in practices leading up to the season. And I think that's hurt the defenses right along. Philadelphia can't afford to get in a shootout here. I think they're going to have to try to control the clock. I like Miles Sanders. They have a big game in this matchup. And I do think Baltimore is, you're talking about a team that's allowed 17 points or less in 4 or 5 games this year. And the only time that didn't occur is when they faced the Kansas City Chiefs that are going to make a lot of defenses look bad. So, and also, I'm also looking at a betting angle in this game as it applies to the total. Anytime you have a home team like Baltimore that's coming off a win and the total's 49.5 or greater, and those games have gone 32-8 to the under since 2016. Again, that's a league-wide trend. It's not a team trend. That's the very least of the things I'm banking on, but it's an added component. I like this game to go under 47.5 this week. And Brad, I'm predicting you're going to see more unders this week than we've seen in weeks past, as opposed to the overs.
You think the defenses are going to catch up a little bit, huh, Ross?
Well, a little. Again, we're talking about, we've had records as far as high-scoring games this year, points scored, I should say, after 5 weeks, and the books have adjusted accordingly. They keep bringing these numbers up and up and up. And you know what, Brad? It's no secret the general public loves to bet over. Guys that don't do this professionally, if they're just making a bet off the cuff and it's a standalone game, especially, which this isn't, I'm just saying, who likes to sit there and watch both teams not score? You know what I mean? So if they're undecided on a side in a game, 90% of the novice guys will bet the over. And again, the books are aware of this, and right now the bettors are going to be very vulnerable with these high totals that have been escalating week by week. And I think this is where you're going to see it level off a little bit, Brad.
Excellent point, Ross Benjamin. That brings us to last, but certainly not least, Louis Bag of Diamonds, your most interesting play.
All right. To touch on Ross's points, on the totals, yes, the median has to, if you just go based on history, it has to get back down, and the numbers do have to come back down. And I like his points about the fact that there was no contact with the preseason, all that, which softened the defense a little bit. So maybe he does have a point here. I really felt that the numbers were going to stay high. I kind of thought it had to do with maybe the no audience, no fan support for these home teams and these intense situations. So, and I still think that has something to do with it. So, I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down and the unders are going to be the play. So I think we got to keep an eye on that. But history does say that over the next 2-3 weeks, the unders will be coming in. So if you're a guy that likes to believe in history, which I am, but sometimes I have no problem bucking it. All right, all that being said, my most interesting play today is, come on, guys, it's pretty obvious. Let's play that Tampa game under, Tampa and Houston under. Let's hope Houston gets it again so we could cash it again tomorrow. But I want to say this. I don't use this platform to just throw commercials at you all day long. We've been trying to do a good job providing good, solid information. But I'm going to throw a commercial at you right now. I got a teaser that I know on Sunday it's going to cash for us. I'll give it to you free. It's a 4-team teaser for Sunday in the NFL. You just got to either text the free winner to 90210. If you don't have T-Mobile, it does not work on the T-Mobile service. So if you have that, you're going to have to call direct 877-711-WINS. 877-711-9467 or text free winner to 90210. You'll get the play absolutely free. There will be no questions asked. It'll be right there on the text, and go out there, take advantage of it. If you want to take advantage of more than that, we'll talk about it. So that being said, get that under in tonight. Nice solid winner for you there with Tampa. And back to you, Brad. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Back to you, Brad.
Yep. I got it. Okay. La Bamba, Loule Diamond, 90210 as in Beverly Hills. Finally figured it out. Wonderful. Guys, we're never out of time here at Bettor Center Live, but I got to go. So we are now done. We're done with the show. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Chip. And thank you, Loule Diamond. LouisDiamond.com, at Loule Diamond on YouTube, also Facebook. Thank you, Eugene, our technical director and supervisor, for everything you do at Spotlight Film Productions. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Goodbye. Have a beautiful weekend. Get out of here.